Bloodstained history sees it all. From the courthouse steps to the Capitol halls. A phantom voice with a justice demand. He's here to lead, but not to hold hand. He's carving truth with a fiery hand. Splitting lies like he split the land. Rails to freedom, the hammer still pounds. Resurrected, Abe Lincoln shakes the ground. The beard of wisdom, the eyes of wrath, dragging this country down a righteous path. Chains will shatter, lies will fall. Honest Abe Shabble standing tall. He's carving truth with a fiery hand. Splitting lies like he split.
Howdy, howdy. Good to see you.
Rails to freedom, the hammer still pounds. Resurrected,
I figure that
Lincoln
a lot of
shakes the
people
ground.
online right now, and I'm still awake. So I figured why not jump on, start a stream, and share people who are out and about without a place to hang out. Right? Why not? I don't know if I'm going to do a panel or just talk, but yeah. How are you, chat? How have you been today? Has it been interesting? Has the interwebs been fun? A lot going on this week, I think, between debates and all kinds of goodness and weirdness and what have you. Tomorrow, though, not tomorrow, today, later today, it's weird. Later today, I will be having a multi-stream, I guess you could call it. Like I'm going to be on my channel, and Rob Noor is going to be on his channel, and I'm going to go on his show and do like an interview with him onto my channel. So like a dual panel thing, and just like interview him a little bit, and then we're going to talk about debate and how like formal debate differs a little bit from blood sport debate, especially like in our circles, right? Like there's BK and there's Signal Syndicate and there's Tomato and there's all these. Tomato's more close to formal-ish style because it's a longer form debate with an open panel after, but we're going to discuss just debate form, like how to get better at it, how to function in that realm. I think it'll be good content. It'll be a good chat, and I respect Rob. He's a pretty good dude, and he's pretty solid on his stances and his beliefs, and he looks really deep into the topics that he cares about strongly, and so I think that'll be fun. I think it'll be good content, like I said, for you guys and for me as well, learning experience and just goofing off. Did any of you guys catch our D&D earlier over at EOD's? That was pretty fun. Rob's freaking hilarious, dude. Especially playing Joe Boober, his barbarian. He's a funny guy. So that's going to expand too. It's been a lot of fun over there. I don't know. Do any of you want to chat? David, you want to come up and chat about random crap? I know it's really late. This is a different time for me usually. Usually I'd be getting on at like 5, between 5 and 8 my time and be on into this time and then go to bed. But tonight I started really freaking late because I did the D&D game with EOD and Rob and some of EOD's people. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to get my watch hours up and my subs up. I'm curious if you guys have any ideas for how to grow more. I know that I need to get a more scheduled, more foundational plan for how I'm doing things. I want to start doing weekly shows like this night's a debate night, this night's an interview night, this night's a open panel chill night. This, you know what I mean? I think that would be helpful. I just haven't figured out where or how I want to set that up just yet. Seems like Tuesdays is a good just open panel stream day. It seems, I don't know why. Tuesday just seems to be a day where people want to come around and chit chat about stuff. Wednesdays I do D&D with EOD, and I'm thinking about restreaming the D&D over here. And I didn't do it tonight. I think I'm gonna go clip some or something like that maybe, but Thursdays, like this Thursday, is going to be me going over and talking to Rob. I might do Grumple's karaoke after. I think that would be some fun. Fridays, I usually do the debate shows. Like I'll go on Signal Syndicate or VK or both. And then Saturday, I was setting Saturdays up to do debate nights here on Saturday nights, like either debate prep, debate practice, or even formal debates between people who actually have a stance and a topic that they want to do. Actually, this Saturday, I might be having Spiro on to probably just talk about random topics in the world that that we either see need to be overcome or that we could take action with in our daily lives in order to make the world a little bit less screwed up. I think that's kind of my foundational principle is I want people to communicate. I want people to understand each other better, but I don't want it to be like bull crap. I want it to be real. I want people to have real interactions where people can actually discuss things. I think debate is useful, but I also think that debate is detrimental because it puts you in a state of argumentation rather than seeking to understand. I think the semantics and the linguistics are great that you get from debate. I think it's something that people should do in order to hone their skill at picking out words and ideas so that they can better communicate. But I don't think they should stay in that mental state. I think that is a bad thing to do. Yeah, I mean, it does. That's one thing. Having good panelists helps for sure. I enjoy having you. She does not hate you. She does not. Trust me. It's it's I'll put it this way. It's I'm unavailable to anyone here, so I'm going to play around and be a butt because it's fun. Kind of like you do as well. But it's it's a stance that allows someone to just hang out with people, have fun, and be a little bit of a butt, like we all do, right? You do help. I appreciate you quite a bit, K2. You're a good panelist, you're a good friend, buddy, and you have good, fun, goofy conversations with me, and sometimes pretty serious conversations too. I mean, we have to really understand burger cream, and you're the king of it, so you're the only one who can explain it to us, right? So, yeah, you know, but Kat is gonna continue to do stuff. Like, I'm gonna have her do game nights. She can't do one this week. We did one last week, so it's gonna be the following week, right? So it'll be game night, empty week, game night. Um, but if I can iron out like a foundational weekly schedule, I think it would help. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. Um, so like if I can set it out, yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think that that kind of interaction for chatters is really cool. I think that you get that a little bit with things like VK and Sarah's channel, right? You get the after panel and people can jump up and give their spiel and argue their ideas. VK, you get people kind of being silly, kind of being philosophical. Um, but on here, a game night just for the sake of fun and goofing around with people that you kind of enjoy the company of, and people getting to watch those interactions, I think that's so great. It's goofy fun for the sake of fun, you know? Absolutely. And that's the other thing, like, we're in chats, and for me, I've been in this community for a while as a chatter, maybe a few different names, but, like, a lot of the chatters talk to each other often and build, like, a pseudo friendship with these people. You know, we we kinda jab at each other a little bit, and we have fun, and a little bit of insulting, and a little bit of, uplifting. But I think that, like, when you do open panels and you actually get to hear that person and talk to them, you get a little bit more of that, like, "Oh, shoot, this is a person I've been talking to in chat off and on for a long time, but I didn't know much about them really." And then you get that actual interaction with the people, and I think that grows us as people. John, are you alright? I hope you don't mean me, 'cause, you know. Elder Lion, good to see you. Yeah, it's, I think it's cool to get those kinds of interactions, and when I do open panels and people come up, I know that it kinda flows through a bunch of random topics, but, like, it's kinda cool because I don't think we often like me, I don't often talk to, like, Australian people or English people or Norwegian people, where I live. Where am I gonna get a chance to try to learn and understand different cultures, different belief systems, different anything, really? I don't get that chance in my normal everyday life, but I think it's really cool that there's cultural interactions that we can gain here, and there's philosophical conversations, and because we're so spread out worldwide, we get a chance to gain insight into parts of the world and ideas that we've never even really considered. That would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun. Like make it prompt. You get to write the prompt. Each one writes the prompt, and then we vote on who wins based on audience engagement. Those are fun ideas. Look, like for me, John, I try to just be genuine to people. Like I'm not I'm here to actually I've already said this before. Like I'm here to build communication, help people understand each other better. Sometimes we go into fighting or arguing about what people believe. But I think that that is good so long as it doesn't breed some kind of hatred for no good reason. Like I don't see a point to that. I don't see a point to everybody turning on each other. I think it's best if we could speak to each other to understand each other and not take everything personal and not, you know. So that's part of what I wanted to do with this channel is to bring in, communicate with everybody, have everybody communicate with each other, and try to gain a better understanding of each other. And I think it's working so far. The panels I do seem to allow people to build bridges between each other, even if they vehemently disagree about things. At least they understand each other better by the end. I know, John, I know. But I see that's the thing. I'm not I don't have some goal that like I'm gonna fix everything and everything's gonna be better because of it. It's just let's talk, because why wouldn't you? You know? And for me, like David, I'm pretty laid back as a person. I don't have any animus towards people. Like I've said before, I don't hate people. Like that's not something I believe we should do. I can hate somebody's actions. I can hate somebody's ideas. I can hate those kinds of things, but I don't see any good point in hatred of people. You can really dislike somebody because of their stance and how they act. But for me, I believe that if I have an issue with somebody, I'm just gonna either try to talk it out or I'll say, look, agree to disagree. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. We're good. No problem. That's fine. And yeah, it does. It absolutely does, David. Hatred is much like um hatred is like drinking poison and waiting for other people to die. It really is. It doesn't do you any good. It just festers inside of you and destroys you from within. That's all it does. There's no point to it. And I would say if you feel hate, you probably have some work to do internally, because you don't like you got to ask yourself, why do I feel hatred towards whatever this thing is? Now, it could be the idea is so unsettling to you or so evil to you that maybe you should hate that idea. But hatred of people is different than hatred of ideas or beliefs or actions. That one is like an unsolvable, because once you've placed a person in the hatred category, how do you solve that other than forgiving, walking away, letting it go? There's no solution to that. Not without committing grave errors or sins against yourself and others, right? What what is the point of that? Like, because for instance, if I feel that I hate somebody and I take horrible actions against that person because of my hatred, even if they've done something wrong against me, um, I'm also doing damage to myself by taking those actions. I will harm myself if I take actions against others in hatred, whether it's damage to my life or damage to my belief system or damage to my soul, which maybe some people don't believe that, but I do. I honestly believe that. If I'm hating somebody and I take actions against them because I hate them, I'm doing damage to my spirit, to my soul, to myself. Because I'm breaking a limiter that will allow me to do it again to others. And the more I do it, the more I do it to others. And then that's just going to grow inside of me. And I don't want that. And I don't want other people to have that either. I'd rather people learn to communicate and grow out of that and realize that, like, we're looking through a glass darkly. That means you're seeing the world projected. You cannot see the world without projecting into the world what you think, believe, and feel. And realizing that is very important, because if you don't realize that you are seeing the world for what you think, what you believe, what you feel, then you can't actually step back and go, wait, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just wrong. Um, See, and I'm reminded of all kinds of things. Like, we have a predilection as human beings uh, to act very foolishly. And generally it's because of our own emotions, our own state of our heart. Um, and the whole thing is you don't know the heart of another person. So unless you're communicating with that person and you learn the state of that person, right? You can know people by the fruit that they produce. And if you have questions, it'd be better to understand than to make judgments before you even know, right? And I don't know. That's like a lot of this stuff is the kind of stuff that goes through my head when I'm doing this channel. And at first I thought like I could go over news and I could talk about politics and I could talk about philosophy and we could talk about debate and yes, we can do that. Or I can host those kinds of things. But really, all of those things have one linchpin, and that linchpin is communication. And ineffective communication helps no one. See, I like that, Elder Lion. I like that a lot because you should hate the sin, right? That is like, I would say that's like a righteous anger towards the thing you know that is wrong and evil. And who are we to claim to know the heart of another? We can't do that. Like, I can't do that. I can only look at the actions of that person and say, wow, something's going on there. And the only way I can do anything is to seek to understand better. And I think that we lack understanding in our current age. We're real quick to make judgment calls about people. And you could look at the fruit and say, I think something's wrong there. But by no means could I say that person is something that I can't know. Is there a line at which we could say this person's so far gone that I need to stay away from them? Sure, that's fine. That's totally fine. But if it's somebody you're going to engage with all the time or often or be around, then why not have the conversation? Like Steelman, for instance. Steelman comes into the chat all the time and he takes pop shots at my character, at my past, at my military service, at my beliefs. I don't just ban the guy. Instead, I'll just talk to him. I don't have to feel personal about things he says to me. That's something he is projecting on to me. The only way I can communicate and understand that is if I talk to him. Why do you think that about me? I could say, oh, I don't care what you think about me, which may be true. I may sort of not care what he thinks of me because I know me, at least mostly. But if I want to be a good steward, why wouldn't I help him understand me better so that he has less animus towards me for a reason that's not true? Right? You could foster truth. You could foster honesty. You can foster compassion, the right kind of compassion, right? Not this feigned false thing that we see in the Western world all the time, but true, but I could say that's partially what I said the other night, right, David Healy? I said people who have been trained from a young age to believe a certain way and or wire the neurons in their brain a certain way, it takes 10 times the amount of effort that it would have taken for them to learn it originally, because that hardwiring is powerful. And then if you continue to live in that hardwiring for long enough, it becomes more and more hardwired. Sorry, Dave. Sorry. I keep forgetting. I know. Um, I think you can overcome that firing and wiring system of the brain, but it takes time and it takes trying to change it. So partially, again, that's part of what I'm doing. If we communicate more and more and more, then people who have a destructive or screwed up or or misaligned view of things may come closer to truth or understanding what is really in front of them rather than what they've already prejudged it to be based on their internal state. Those are great sentiments. I don't disagree with that. Um, it'd be like Bill Hicks. It'd be like God gave you talents, skills, and abilities, and when you misapply them, they could be used for evil, right? In your own life, in your own self, and against others. My mother used to tell me that all the time. My mom passed away like 11 years ago, I think now, but she used to tell me all the time, do it for good and not for evil. And it would be about everything. Like I'd be drawing and she'd be like, make sure you're doing it for good and not for evil. And to me as a kid, I was like, I don't even know what that means. That's weird. I'm just drawing pictures, right? But you could. You could use anything for evil, and you could use the same thing you're using for evil for good. So we have to use God-given virtues, as you've said, or gifts, or whatever it is, for the right things. The thing is, people have to, especially today. And by no means am I saying I'm some kind of teacher, I'm some kind of great man, I'm some kind of guru. I'm saying I just want people to seek to be more congruent with reality and seeking truth. Well, John, I could draw as a child, right? And I could be gaining more and more and more talent and ability, and I could become an adult, and I could use that drawing skill that I have gained over many years of self-training or education training in that field to draw terrible things. I could make comic books about things that get people to believe horrible things. I could use my talent, whatever it is, to misguide people, to harm people. And that's true, I think, of almost any gift that you have. There is right and wrong. There is good and evil in the things that we do. And we have to choose wisely lest we harm ourselves and others. I think that's the long and short of it, really. And honestly, to you guys in the chat, half the time I feel like I'm aimless when I'm on here. I'm getting on and I'm just having conversations. Sometimes I have a set show, right? We did the game night. That was awesome. Sometimes I have, but a lot of the time it's kind of just whatever. And it seems to me, even when it is just whatever, even when it is just whatever, it goes somewhere, which I kind of love. And sometimes it takes weird turns and we get really goofy conversations. But I think the stuff that is being talked about is important. Um, whether it's belief in Christ, Jesus, or it's uh, discussing political stuff or philosophy or anything, I think that the meshing of minds um, and discussing things is good for us. Thank you, Bill Hicks. I don't know if I'll be on in 2 hours. I only meant to jump on for a short time this evening, but I hadn't streamed today, and I had intended to when I was doing D&D with EOD, and then I just didn't. And afterwards, I was like, "Am I going to bed? or am I just going to stream a short stream and talk to people a little bit? And so, yeah, here I'm here. Decided to just get on for a little bit. So, all right. Well, thank you, Grumple, for stopping in. So, I don't know. I have a bunch of content coming that I think is good. Later today, like I said, I'll be on with Rob, and then Saturday I'm going to have Spiro on the show. I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully, as we continue, I add value in some way to our community or the greater community as a whole. Yes, tonight is karaoke. I don't know when the karaoke starts, Grumple. I'm gonna be on Rob's at 8 my time, which should be, I think, 8 your time. But after that, I would love to come over and do karaoke with you. Yes, Spiro is very impressive. When I first saw him, I thought he was pretty funny, and then I went and watched his stream, several of his streams now. The guy is sharp, really freaking sharp, and he's digging into pretty important stuff when you look at how technology is changing over time, how it's affecting us as people and a culture, and I think it's really good. What are my political leanings? I would say I'm conservative, and I have some libertarian stances, and yeah. I mean, I can see some of I can see and understand some of the left's beliefs, some of the right's beliefs, and I can't say that I just a blanket agree with everything on either side. So, yes, 100% anti-vampire. You are correct. It is my job to stop the vampires, for sure. Which questions, John? Are you saying you want to come up, or are you saying you want to answer them in chat, John? I think dwarf throwing sounds like a lot of fun, especially through windows. That seems like a good time, especially with consent. I mean, you can come up if you want to, JB. I can send you a link in the back or however you want to do it. Actually, I could just open the damn panel if you guys want to come up and talk. Figure I said a little spiel, but yeah. I don't know. I'll say I really appreciate you guys coming here. Like you could go to any stream, you could do anything, but I'm here and you guys show up and I enjoy the chat. I enjoy the talks on stream. I think it's been freaking incredible. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, one, about streaming, about computers. I've learned a lot about how they interface together. I've learned a lot about people and different cultures. I've learned more about debate specifically and how to get ideas across clear and concisely, which I think is a skill we lack a lot today as well, being clear and concise about what we think and how we feel about things. Linguistics is important. Semantics is important. Understanding how your message is being conveyed to other people, that's important. If you want to get people to understand or get people to seek more realistic views and seek truth, you first have to be able to communicate that to them in a way that makes sense and helps them towards that. I don't old people are just people. Like everybody's just people. It doesn't. I don't care about age. I don't care about any of that really. Like it's just people. Have classes? I don't know what that means. JB, I don't know what that means. Did that link not work? Is it right? Is it messed up? What's going on? What? So wobbly, what do you think? I think old people have a ton of wisdom often. We could learn a lot from them. They could tell us more about what happened throughout their life because I think that we are lied to often about events. And if somebody lived through it, they have wisdom they can give us. They have the lessons learned over a lifetime. And sometimes it's better to learn a lesson from somebody else than it is to learn it yourself because the destruction it could cause in your life could be avoided if you learned it from somebody who's already lived it. I mean, I don't think old people are different. I think they've just had more life. So David is teaching? Teaching what? How to throw dwarves? Well, hello.
Well, hello, sir.
How art thou? How you doing?
I'm all right. Big afternoon, big day.
Huh?
It's been a big afternoon and a big day. Is my microphone working, or should I move things
Oh,
around a
I
little?
can hear you. I can hear you good.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think the last few days has been a little bit interesting as far as our community goes. It's a little sad.
Yeah. Well, I
a little sad.
have pushed and kept it out. I've told everyone I am Switzerland and I don't want their fights
Yeah,
or any fights
Yeah,
here. And
yeah,
I think it's the
absolutely.
wisest thing I can do because
I
I can see it from both. I can see it from every side. It's just
Yep.
best
It is.
not. Just best to not.
I agree.
So
I agree. How did your Sunday drive go? Was it nice?
it was nice. It was very nice. Actually, we ended up driving out to a mountain area that we like and did a little hike up so we could see out over the valley and then hiked back down to the car and ate some food and came home and got out of the house and just
Nice.
did some nature stuff. I think it's important to commune with nature and not in some weird Gnostic way. Just get out into nature and breathe fresh air and be away from everything. I think that's good for people. I do.
I completely agree. I think being on top of a hill, being on top of something, climbing up on top of something and looking down is important. Yeah. I
Morning,
completely
boys.
agree.
Morning, Dave.
How you keeping?
I'm good.
It's
Good.
freaking Dave. It's
I don't know.
Dave.
You did say, John, you said if Dave goes up, I'll go up. And luckily, my student, I think she's on holiday, so I think she forgot she had a class. So 10 minutes wait and I'm out.
That's fair. That's fair. Didn't honor
Dave
the
will
time.
always be my friend. Listen to that accent. Like, you just know he's way smarter than me.
What are
He's a
you
good
talking about,
dude.
mate?
He's a good dude.
I'm one of you guys. I'm one of you. That's what I am. I'm one of
That's
you.
what I am. I'm one of you guys. That's
what we
me.
need to do is keep like putting the intonation of the sentence up at the end all the time.
All
and
the
then
time.
all the time.
All the time.
At the end like that, and then we can sound like absolute just to the end like that. We
all the time, every time.
All the time,
Dave-o.
every time.
Dave-o.
Absolutely, that's what we do.
All the time, and that's what
every
we have
time.
to do. And then we have to pretend like we exist in a real country, and it's
Yeah.
not just a figment of our imaginations. And if we can focus on that, we won't get confused, kind of metaphysically speaking, about where we actually are in this cosmos.
That's a fair
Well, I
estimation.
am. Oh, well, Dave, I am.
That's what God said in the Bible, mate. Don't start parroting him. You're not as good as him. Come on
Never
now.
will be. But
Come on now.
Let's get serious. Let's get really serious, mate. Now, down to the topic at hand. Dwarf tossing. Now, as a dwarf, I want to know what you think. There are some days I like to be tossed, and other days I just want to keep my feet on the ground.
It's the best sport there is.
It is the
Alright,
best
so
sport
if
there
they-
is.
if they toss you, hang on. Now, if they toss you, do they toss you by the feet and your head's on the ground, or do they toss you by your head and your feet are on the ground?
Have you ever seen?
Based on any piece they can grab.
Have you ever seen it?
An arm, a
when they
leg.
do it, where they have the Velcro suits. Have you ever seen it where they literally put them in Velcro suits
I
and
have.
throw them at a target? It's
It's
incredible.
freaking great.
It's amazing.
How's my fake Australian accent for an American?
I personally think that the intonation is fantastic, but I think you need to try to exist a little less to be authentic, because obviously none of us exist. We're just made up.
I
True.
concur.
It's so true.
I concur.
I don't
But-
know how you can get away from it.
I don't know. I suppose one guy said, "I think, therefore I am." And I think that's what John was hinting at there when he said "I am," because I think he was thinking, but I can't tell whether he's thinking. Only he knows if he's thinking. I don't know if he's thinking.
Yeah.
I concur.
Never. Vampires don't sleep, so I don't sleep.
I go to bed really early. It's tragic. I go to bed so early that my hours now kind of coincide with America.
To be fair, my sleep schedule since starting my streaming channel has become the wonkiest shit I've ever had in my life. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a vet. I'm a Marine vet, so like my schedule's already jacked up quite often, but it's gotten so much weirder because like here I am right now. It's almost 4 a.m. for me. I'm online streaming. I don't know why, but I figured I needed to, so here I am.
Do you find
It's a
it a
weird thing.
peaceful time of the morning? Like, do you find it peaceful at this time to stream and relax?
Somewhat. I think it depends on like what grouping of people are around. Like, okay, so like 4 a.m., like this time, like you get this kind of thing where we're just joking around, having a nice time, and it's really chill. But sometimes when you're streaming at this kind of time, all of a sudden you get the weird stuff starts happening. Like weird people start showing up, and so it's kind of a in and out. Like some of them are really good, and some of them are like, okay, I don't even know if I want to be online right now.
You get a lot of crossover with
Yeah.
time zones, which I
Yeah.
find is the Australian time zone. I think is probably one that I get on the best with. I think, but then it's always really late for them. Like there's what's his
It's
name,
not real.
Richie's stream.
Not
You know what's his name, 007. He has some good chats on
No,
there.
no, Richie's not Australian. He's over in the fucking islands or something.
Yeah,
What are you
I know
talking
that.
about?
He's like almost
He's
an honorary
English.
Australian. Yeah, I know. He's
He's not.
completely. But I know he's not English, but he has so many Australians on his panel. He's
no.
almost an honorary Australian.
No, yeah, get some weird cop dude in there. Yeah, all right, yeah.
I'm surprised how many Aussies like I get on my channel just hanging out. I guess it's probably my time when I'm streaming.
I've spent 6 years, and I spent 2 years literally on American time here in Australia.
What's that much?
Once
That's
upon a
like
time.
you're like what? That means you're like literally nearly a whole day ahead, aren't you? Really?
14 hours on East Coast. I think 14, 12 hours was the base.
So over half a day ahead.
Less, but yeah. I did that for about 2 years. It was a mistake, but
A
interesting.
mistake. A mistake, but interesting. Sounds like the night shift.
Started losing his Australian accent.
He starts turning the mirror.
I literally did, man. I literally did. Like, glass and glaze and
Oh man.
fuck.
Used to go to
It was
McDonald's.
bad.
Go, hey guys, how's it going? I'm JB.
It-
Sorry,
it
mate.
was-
Sorry, no, I'm on American time there. Sorry about that.
It was bad, man. It was bad.
See, Elder Lion.
I think about 16 hours per day, 2 years.
I think
American time.
a lot of people that have like an online presence have that kind of sleep schedule where it's like 8 hours a nap, 8 hours a nap, 8 hours a nap, which is really strange. Like I don't think I can actually continue to function if I do that. I actually have to have a real crash. But when that crash happens is very dependent because I could be up for 24 hours and then have an 8-hour sleep. Or I could be up for
36.
16 hours or 36 but I need that actual full chunk of sleep at some point. And it's weird too, like I'm sure you guys know this too, but like as you age, it becomes less easy for me to stay up long periods and then not have that long sleep. And I feel it the next time I wake up. Like if I stay up 36 or so hours, or I do a really, really long stream and then I sleep, I feel more worn out the next day than I did if I had just done a normal day.
I think that if you aim for 8 hours sleep per night, it's a good target.
Fair.
But per 24 hours, 8 hours. But every 24 hours, if you're up more than that, for myself personally, I discovered in my 20s that it becomes an issue. But 24 hours is more than enough to be awake.
So Wobbly, I can function on 6, but if I like step that down to 4 or 2, like Elder Lion is saying, I start to function really badly, like mentally and physically. I mean, I have plenty of issues physically anyway, but I don't feel like if it's under 6 hours, I feel like I didn't get enough recovery.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it's necessarily about the amount of sleep you get.
The quality.
Like you need sleep. You need sleep. But the thing is that if you're awake for more than 24 hours, things start to get a little bit
weird.
messy.
Yeah.
Weird.
Your brain
I
doesn't
have
work
such
right.
a regular routine for my sleep now, and I think it's since I changed my diet, stopped smoking weed. I've not drunk like a drop of. I haven't had a drop of alcohol.
Dave, hello.
10 years,
Dave,
man.
we spoke about this. Dude, didn't we speak about this earlier this year?
I can't
Was
remember.
it you or was it?
Might be. I haven't had a drink. Like, I haven't had a drop of alcohol in like 10 years.
No,
and then I gave up
the-
weed in January, and it's sort of 6 months actually.
Yeah.
But now I get up every day. I get up with the alarm. As soon as the alarm goes at 4:30, it goes 2 bleeps on 4:30 a.m. I'm up like that. I get up. We say up. My wife and I both jump up out of bed. We say our prayers, then do some Bible reading, then some prayers. Then we have breakfast. Then go to the gym, and then go. Yeah, man. Every day.
It's really not, dude. With your wife, that. Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really nice, man. That's really nice.
Yeah,
I've never done that. That's really cool.
Father Antonius said to us, I asked him once after a liturgy, because we're with catechumens, and I asked him after a liturgy, Father, you got any advice for prayers, at home? And he went, yes. In the morning when you go up and do your prayers, do it together. He said, couples who pray together, stay together. And I was like, oh, thanks, Father. Cheers. That's like we just did it.
I think you're the first person I've heard that. Dave, I really, really like that. Even more respect than I had. That's
beautiful. It really is.
Yeah. That's lovely.
I think I'm going to aim for that now.
Scripture is great, and you read and then you talk about a bit of scripture, and it's different from what I ever thought it would be. It's turned into like a wholesome, real firm footing at the start of the day. Then we go to the gym and work out together as well after breakfast. And basically, I turned to my wife and go, "You're not trying hard enough. You're not trying hard enough." But she's getting stronger now, especially with the grip strength, because we're doing a lot of the climbing sort of forearm stuff on
That's
the.
awesome.
But working out together is great as well.
That's
But
really good.
routine, though, routine. If I didn't have routine, my life would fall apart because I'm such an
Structure,
inconsistent
routine.
person. Yeah, discipline.
I recently lost a lot of that routine, and it hurts.
Yeah, chaos
It
is not
hurts.
good
Yeah,
in the long run, I don't think.
routine is very, very important to be better, be good, do well, and keep on doing that and build up on it. If you
Well, it's
lose
hard.
it,
Yeah,
it's
it's hard to
hard.
be consistent if you're not consistent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the more inconsistency you build into the system, the more failure points there are in that system, I think. I don't know, man. If I was in my 20s, it'd be different because it was easy to let things slide like that. But like at 40, all of a sudden you're like, shoot, I'm actually kind of old, and things aren't working right if I don't just stick to what I should.
I think maybe because we realise the paths that chaos could take you. Like we're so ignorant when we're younger, and we just think, oh, I can do this and I can do that, and I'll be fine. And it's like there's a whole load of, I wouldn't say it's cope. Cope's what we get when we get older. Yeah, that's what we get when we get old. And the older we get, and the more we don't discipline ourselves, the more cope. But youth is just folly, I think, isn't it?
I think it's ignorance.
Yeah, out and out.
You just don't know what you don't know, and you make all kinds of mistakes because you don't know. And I was saying earlier to Wobbly, the older people can give us lessons so that we don't make the mistakes, because they could tell us, I made this mistake, you shouldn't do this thing. We just have to listen.
And you know what old people say? And it's something my father said a long time ago. And I mean, to be fair, my father is quite ignorant, but he's also wise at the same time. He said, what you know, I've already forgotten. That's that. What you know is I've already forgotten. Yeah, it's like you don't know shit.
Shit. All right, just for the sake of it, completely off. My dad told me you're probably going to be sick and get ill like me, so just spend all your fucking money.
Is that what he told you?
Yes, straight up.
Oh god. Oh
yeah.
Terrible advice.
This is what this is now what you're trying to rectify now.
But
correct.
To be fair, I was raised similarly. Like my parents pushed good virtues and disciplined us for bad behavior. They were good in the ways that were needed, but as an example, they were terrible. They were terrible with their money. They tried to buy a house and lost it. And it was just like that my whole life. And like,
I need to be clear. I've been quite privileged in my bringing up. I've been very, very lucky. I'm so different to that.
John had the Skeletor Castle and the Ewok Village.
I did not have those back in the 80s, you fuckwit. But the next door neighbours did, and I got to go and party and use that sort of stuff. But no, I didn't. Especially with the interest rates of the late 80s, early 90s. No. But I understand what you're saying.
I think
maybe my little brother got a little bit of fun on that.
With a lot of parents, I think it's a case of they do the best they can, and it's like the blind leading the blind at the time.
Absolutely.
And then as we get older, we then say, "Oh wow, look! I do not want to be like that." I mean, some people are really lucky. I think some people are lucky; they have really stable, sort of responsible parents. But then some of the people who've had the most responsible parents, I've then seen those children become the most rebellious. So I don't think you can win either way. I think it's just experience is experience, isn't it? What do you reckon?
It's hard. I've seen people that have come from the best families, big money, stuff like that, and 1 out of 3 children go and get up to some really bad stuff, and they die.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't want to call it random. I don't want to call it random because it's not. But that's reality. Like, you can have all of it, but we make our own choices.
Because my father, all his goal ever was all he ever really did is once he bought a house, he bought a house freehold, and he managed to. Because my dad used to. He's a car salesman. He's private, so he traded his
Nice.
whole life, and he used to have wedges of cash hidden, like in the wardrobe. You'd go into the wardrobe, and there would just be piles of cash in there. But that's what he coveted his whole life. Then he got his house, and that was the capstone on his pyramid. Do you know what I mean? That was it. And after
Yeah.
that, didn't do anything. Didn't
Yep.
do anything with his life. Didn't do it, but kept telling me everything that I did was wrong.
Yep. Well, see,
Dave, sorry, I apologize for
Go ahead.
interrupting.
Go
Like
ahead.
I probably will, but I had everything before I was 27. Everything. I had everything that I ever wanted,
So
but
I think
keeping it.
yeah, I think part of the trap, as especially, I don't know about everyone, but as a man, for me, part of the trap is setting a goal, like owning a home, right? And
Mm.
getting to that goal and then being done. You can't be done. There's no being done. Because
Yeah.
if you be done, then where do you go from that? You have to keep going. And
Yeah.
I kind of found that in myself. I worked my butt off. I was in the military, and then after that I worked and worked and worked and worked, and I finally bought a home, and I got to the point where I was like, oh, I did it. I accomplished it. And
What
Mhm.
now?
but yeah, but after a little bit, like, I realized, oh wait, I have to keep progressing with my life. I
Did
have
you have
to
children?
set new
Did you
goals.
have children? Did
Yeah.
you have children at that point? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I think having something to build on, give to, I think that's
Yeah.
a massive bonus for drive. It
And
really, truly is.
and I consider myself
I think.
extremely blessed in the US, right? Because like I got to a point where I could buy a home, and I made the choice, and that's a huge jump into something. And then the housing market in the US went nuts and fell to pieces, and now it's so hard to buy a house in the
Mm.
US that I mean, there's
Mm.
places you can still, don't get me wrong, but like where I live specifically, the housing market is so out of control now. I couldn't buy a house here if today.
No, just go and get like an acre next to Kat's place, and
Well,
it'll be
yeah.
like $100,000.
Well, yeah. Well, for me, like mine, I bought at just before it went nuts, and like I said, now there's no way I could buy a home where I live if
Yeah.
I had entered the market today. And I bought this house 7 years ago, right before it happened, and it's like
Just before the crash.
right before.
Oh shit! So you got locked in interest rates for a few
2017,
years, and then
Yeah.
nice, but dude, that was well planned. That
Yeah.
was well
Well,
planned.
And I bought 10
Someone was looking
acres.
down on you.
Yeah, I bought 10 acres and a 5-bedroom house. Like,
Beautiful.
but
Oh.
I couldn't do it now. But thank God that I did it when I did, because now I have that security. But again, if I get comfortable and say, "Oh, I accomplished my goal," and the reason it was such a huge goal to me is growing up, I moved like 30 times before I got out of high school, and my parents, right before I got out of high school, had started to buy a home, and they did a weird deal where they were going to do, so many years and then do a balloon payment. Well, they never did it, and they lost everything.
Mm.
And I watched all that happen. So to me, it's like I didn't want my children moving around a whole bunch their whole life. I wanted them to be founded and have a place they knew as home. And so I worked my ass off until I was in my 30s, and I bought a house, and it had stuff in line. And then once I did exactly what I shouldn't have done. I got really comfortable and did nothing for a while, and
Me too.
doing more by not setting new goals. It's because they're seeing that, it's okay to just get comfortable and not do anything after you reach your goal. And that carried over into everything, right? I became complacent about my personal cares. I just stopped caring about all kinds of things. And I think that's the trap. I think contentment is healthy only to a point. If you allow your contentment to consume you, you will just become a lazy ass, and you'll ruin your life.
It's like the
Oh,
gym.
so-
if you go to the gym and you keep lifting the same weights over and over again, it ceases to become painful, and then the reward just seeps away. There's no reward. You're just going through the motions. It's like almost like a soulless existence when you're immersed in like just in. I say
Okay.
indulgence, but yeah. What
So,
did you
that's
call it before?
that's interesting in that pain gain. Do we always want pain? Is there a time or one day a week that we can have that confidence that we can let go, or do we always need to be on the go?
I guess like what I'm learning about. Sorry, Abel. To quickly
Go ahead,
throw this
go
in,
ahead.
because what we started doing, my wife and I, we started fasting. Like in Orthodoxy, there's a fast, like a firm fast, Wednesdays and Fridays. Yeah.
Mhm.
So like, I guess the attitude towards suffering or towards not having or towards not feeling comfortable, that attitude is what makes the other days full of gratitude. So right, like for example, being ingenious about how to suffer pain, like for the gym, finding loads of different ways to work and suffer them, like to stretch the muscles, not doing the same stuff, but still suffering, but in different ways.
We'll
So
make it
then
fun, right?
Yeah, but
yeah.
also the mind for you, mate. You're learning language, learning all the time. So that's a suffering pain that adds.
Ancient Greeks are bloody pain, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
That's where I was kind of getting at. Yeah, so you're really right in there in I don't want to say being a child, but understanding that learning isn't always thing.
I have
You're
to teach
always
myself.
learning. You
Like I
want
wish
that.
I had been taught. I was spoilt as a kid, but my father was incredibly poor. Like my father is 96 years old, and I'm 46. I'll be 46 this year. So my dad was 50 years old when I was born. But the thing was, my dad and my dad always they spoiled me.
Mhm.
And it turned me to be like a real but he spoiled me, but in the same kind of breath he would drive me out to fight other kids. So he bred a weak kid, but then forced a weak kid to go out and confront people. So it's like I was a coward, and I have been a coward my entire life. And it wasn't until I started to put myself through what he essentially went through as a youngster. I put myself through it. He didn't teach me by his own experience. He did everything so I wouldn't have to go through. And that's what a lot of parents say. They always say about their kids, I don't want my kids to go through what I went through. But what it was that they went through made them who they were.
Yep.
And that's what I didn't get. So in my later years, I'm just trying to do everything that's hard, difficult, no drinking, no smoking, none of this stuff. And it's like you say, it's like being a child again. So I feel 20 years younger than what I am, but that's because I'm learning all the other shit that other people learned when they were pretty younger, you know.
But hopefully you don't think. Well, obviously that's not derogatory saying that. It's just it's that whole understanding of what's important, what's not, why is.
Well, I think it's important to have
It's tricky.
a childlikeness about all kinds of things in reality. We lose some of that as we age, and I think some of it's just the world takes it out of us, or culture takes it out of us, or whatever. But there is a certain level of childlikeness that we should have, that we, I don't know, that gets crushed, so to speak, right?
I guess. All right. So the way that would affect other people versus affecting ourselves, our ability to keep it to ourselves, those thoughts. It's tricky.
It is. It is.
It's tricky.
Well, there's so much to. It's being a human is a weird thing, right?
Hell yeah.
Like the world that you live in is going to affect you. You're going to have things happen to you outside of your choosing, but for the most part, your life is what you make it. And knowing that is only a tiny piece of the battle, because it means you need to work your ass off if you want the life that you want, right? You have to actually pursue that. And the trickiest part, I think, is that you don't actually know what's good for you.
I wanna in a sec read you something that I read. I read this on Facebook.
Sure.
I'm gonna try and find the comment, but it kind of made me annoyed when I read it. I'll try and find it. Oh gosh, I don't know how I can find all my comments and stuff. Yeah, I've essentially become a boomer with social media. I didn't use it for like 10 years. But yeah, what it was, I'll give you a sort of paraphrase it, but it was anything that doesn't make you happy, you shouldn't tolerate. Yeah. And I was like, stop peddling this myth that life is all about happiness. I always say this. It's always like an image I have in my head about happiness.
I tell people this all the time.
Yeah, it's happiness, and I've always said this. I described the
Wait,
difference in the words
That
between
doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't
It's
make
just-
sense.
This is what I tell people. I tell people this all the
Here
time.
it is.
Purpose is more important than happiness.
Life's too short to tolerate anything that doesn't make you happy. And I just said, stop peddling this fantasy that life's about chasing your own happiness. Like
It
real
ruins
life
lives.
real life is messy. You need tolerance, sacrifice, resilience. Not everything that doesn't make you happy is worth ditching.
Yes.
You know.
Yep.
Discomfort leads
Yes.
to growth.
Well, things like that statement right there is the type of thing that helps women walk away from relationships that there's nothing wrong in.
Abe, yes. Abe, yeah. Like with all the current media social stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's like-
I've seen it. I've
Oh.
had it shared with me from different girls. Watch
Yep.
this. It'll improve our relationship. It's like, what?
It was midget.
What?
Times are hard. Times are
Oh,
hard.
that's only that 0.5, Dave. Only
Time-
happened once.
It's times are hard, and I'm not happy right now, and I shouldn't tolerate unhappiness, so I'm leaving.
Yeah.
There could be nothing wrong. There could
That's
be nothing
terrible.
wrong. It's just it got hard for a little bit. I'm not happy. I'm leaving. See, that is poison to the soul.
Yes. Poison to society, not just the
Yes.
soul.
Yes.
But
Like,
affliction
not
creates
one
endurance.
soul, many souls.
That's what St. Paul said, though. It's like affliction creates endurance, breeds endurance. Endurance breed. I can tell how bad I am on scripture.
Well, I used to sit and write out equations, but they weren't like equations. They were literally sayings that I had thought through, right? And it would be like
+1, -1,
Well, no, it
+1,
would be like
+1,
knowledge.
-1.
It'd be like knowledge plus experience equals wisdom, and it would be like all these
Mhm.
different little things like that. Because the truth of the matter is, happiness falls at the end of the things that actually matter, right? Purpose can give you happiness, right? Hardship at the end can give you happiness. Happiness shouldn't be like the main goal of everything you do. Happiness is a fleeting thing. It's not something that you just get to dwell in all the time. If you do, you're just a hedonist at that point. You're not.
That's. I was about to say. I'm like, when does happiness end? Because it can't go on forever.
Well, happiness is. I've always thought about it. I've always visualized happiness, and this is how I explain it to students when they talk about happiness and joy, and they're like, "Well, isn't it just the same?" Like, and happiness is like if you imagine a cloud in front of the sun on a sunny day, and you see that little flickering, that twinkling light behind the cloud as it moves. That's happiness. It's like it flickers. It's impermanent. It's intermittent. It essentially doesn't exist. But joy is the sun. The joy is the sun, and happiness is just the kind of flickering of the sun, but obscured by a cloud. So, like what Elder Lion just said about life being suffering, happiness are those moments, just those flickering moments when we're not suffering, when we're not afflicted.
Happiness has no value if there's no suffering, if there's no hardship, if there's no struggle, if there's no purpose. It has no meaning.
I guess happiness in knowing that we've had happiness and not happiness, and remembering it, and then appreciating those fleeting moments.
Well, and this is like for me. Okay, so okay, I've been married 17 years, right? There are hard times, and happiness is not the only thing, right? And if you make happiness the main thing that you're seeking at all times, you're going to lose everything. You just
Yeah.
will. You can't bottle and hold happiness. Like I said, it's a fleeting thing. You gain some sort of happiness at okay, you work for 12 years and you buy a home. There's happiness in that.
But then
But
what?
now you own the home and now you have to maintain the home.
Mm.
You're not just happy forever because of it. You gain that happiness as a fleeting thing that happened because you reached a goal or you've attained something or you've accomplished something. But it doesn't
Happiness is a byproduct.
Yes, absolutely.
Of achievement. And that's what I
Yes.
liked when you were debating the other day. I think it was at you and there was some other guy and he was saying happiness is the purpose of life. Yeah. Actually, I can't remember what the prompt was, but it's just simple. It's simply not. It's like it's snake oil.
It is.
That's a snake oil statement.
I don't want to say being content is the answer, but I think happiness for others might be the answers.
This is a misalignment. That's the problem. The problem is in our modern day world, we think so differently, right? So like if you look at like the Apostle Paul, he said that we're supposed to find contentment in all things. And he was sitting in a Roman prison when he said this, right?
Yes.
So this is not like happiness. This is like you should accept. You should accept.
It's contentment for self and wanting happiness for others.
But we see contentment differently today. That's the problem. We see contentment as like a happiness that I'm in this situation or I'm comfortable. Well, Paul's telling us you should find contentment even when you're struggling and suffering. So that's a whole different paradigm than we understand today. Because when we say content, I'm content. That means everything's good. It doesn't mean
the most
I've
content.
accepted the situation.
The most content times of my life has been true pain, true pain.
Well,
and then I'm content.
Right. Well, here's a question. If you're happy and you feel like everything's good, do you know where you stand at that point? Because I would say if you're
let me say that again, just for understanding. If you said if you're content, could you repeat that for me, please?
I said if you're in a happy state and everything's good, do you actually know where you stand?
You're lost. I see contentment, permanent contentment, as a loss. You're at loss in freedom, if that makes sense.
How much are you ignoring? How much do you not know is happening? How much are you not paying attention to? Because
that's true. But if you've got a base, if you've got some 12-foot concrete base beneath you that you can't fall any further, a foundation,
like a cornerstone.
Like the chief cornerstone? Yeah, not the Swiss cheese moon cornerstone, but yeah.
I love the way your mind works, John. I have to say, I love the way your mind works, brother. I really do.
I think that has something. Like it does.
Oh, it definitely does.
It coming from a different place from the stories you've told. I don't have it anymore, but it is something. It really is. Even the memories. It is something. Sorry.
No, you're fine. See, that's what I love about this. We're just talking. You could say what you feel like saying, and like you can have these conversations anywhere with anyone who's going to talk to you, but like that's part of why I love this. Like we can just talk about stuff. And yeah, we're live on the internet, but we're not talking crazy. We're just
I I think these are good lessons for even children to learn in knowing that what their parents are not what you are, for good or bad.
Yep.
And we make our own way.
We're people trying to find
And
our way.
eventually, yeah, people trying to find. Yes. Yeah.
Life is a journey,
It's,
and journeys are hard.
Look, journeys are for girls. I'm just pointing the finger in a certain direction and trying to work shit out.
I don't know. Climbing mountains. Life is
And you
full of
point a
mountains and
finger.
valleys.
Well, where are we going? We're going up that mountain, and you point a finger, and we all get up that mountain in different ways.
Mm-hmm. Sure. But you have to realize, too, that life is full of mountains and valleys. You're not just going to climb one mountain and sit at the top. There's another mountain
all
after that
day,
one, and you have to go to the valley, go to the next mountain.
But that's every day, all day, and you can reduce it to 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. But that is how it is. There are river valleys, mountains so high.
Yep.
Bring in the song. It's it's.
And John Denver starts playing in my head.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Pizza Ad or something. I think they use that song for a pizza or Pepsi ad or something here.
That's so funny.
But it's real. It's not just over 6 months. It's not over 1 year or 3 years or 4 or 5 years. Those valleys and those mountains are daily.
I think that it would be valuable, especially in our current day and age, for children to learn that life is full of ups and downs. There's going to be really hard times and there's going to be really good times. And you need to hold on to whatever foundation you have, and you need to do right and do good in the world that you live in. You have to be the person that you want the world to have. Like, and that's so hard. Like, how do you even explain something like that? That's a concept that you have to learn over many years in your own life. But like, I've said this over and over again on my streams. Like, it starts with you, and then it goes to the family, and then it goes to the community. So you have to be the example. You have to be that person. And then you have to make a family that's those people. And then you have to foster community that's those people. And that's how culture is born. That's how a good society is made. And it takes every single individual person.
Okay, so then you're running into that whole religion, into culture, into politics, and then into society. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
and
I agree with you.
I like what Elder Lion just said. My dad used to tell me life is a shitstorm, and his job was to show me how to make a shovel.
It's a great
Seriously,
quote.
I said before, my dad said, if you're going to be sick, just go and spend all your fucking money and have fun. Yeah.
I think something that I've learned is, and I learned this when I read, it was some lady posted on Facebook. It's in like the Highlands. So it's a group where people post photographs of the hills and walks, and she put a little photo, and she put a picture of her and her little dog when she was in the mountains in this place called Ascent. It's beautiful. And she said, has anybody ever been dumped after they went on holiday, by someone they really love? She was an elderly lady. She lost her dog, who was her only companion after she got sort of split up with her other half. And she said, I went to this place with my dog, and this was the most beautiful time of my life. And then that dog died, and now she has she was saying about how she has like health problems and that she needs a new knee or something. And now she's got another dog, but she can never go back to this place, and she hopes she can one day. And I gave her some advice, and I said, like, the wilderness just isn't a place out there. It's a place inside our heads. And, whatever happens, your dog's very. And anyway, I was giving advice, but what I realised is a lot of the time when we give advice to other people, we're blessing ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes the advice we're giving to other people, it's not really for them.
Yep.
It's for us. And that's what I learned that,
This is beautiful. This is
Oh,
beautiful that you brought this up.
Could you guys, please talk on that. I don't quite grasp.
Okay, so this is the thing. When you converse with other human beings, you have a tendency to draw things out of your mind that you haven't conceptualized. And a lot of the time, like I said earlier, we see the world as a projection from ourselves. We see things the way that we believe and feel. And when we actually converse with another human being, the things that come out of us are not just like everything we think. The longer the conversation or the advice goes on, the more we draw things out of ourselves that we didn't even realize were there. And we are learning about ourselves and what we need by doing that thing.
Yeah, and that's why Dave is going to gay counselling. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. 100%, John. 100%. I'm trying. They try and beat it out of me with a carpet. You know, they used to in the old days. They used to hit people with those hit the carpets with that big like shovel. That's what they do to me to get the gay out of me, man.
That was really actually interesting. I'm sorry, Abe. I'm a dick.
But with what your dad told you, John, like with what your dad told you, that advice that he told you, maybe that was the advice he was giving himself. That's what made me reflect on it, is that he was giving you advice.
Well, he certainly has done that, and I certainly, until recently, have done that.
What advice would you give to your father?
You got family, you got kids. Shut the fuck up and stop buying stuff.
Right, so there you go. You just gave yourself some good advice. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing. But like, your dad gave the advice he really needed, and you give the advice that you know that he needed on reflection. But that's advice for you as well, you know.
I think that it is.
Cool.
That is actually really kind of funny that came back at me like that, Dave. Fuck you. I don't have a GD. Oh, I do have a GD. Fuck you, Dave.
There's wisdom.
Fuck you. I've got toys.
Look at my little midget body and just see some more. There you go.
But that just, JB, that just proves the point. It's in you already.
It's meaningless. It's meaningless. I've got things packed away that mean nothing to me, but I've got dogs, live dogs, and I don't have children, so I can't imagine that. But I've got puppies that I hand raised, still with me 6-7 years now later, and I can't imagine that sort of attitude. It was like poison. It was like poison.
But did it bring you wisdom? Did seeing that mistake bring you closer to a wisdom or a truth that will help you in your life?
I think it's given me strength in getting rid of a lot of stuff, even bad offers and donations and stuff like that. I won't deal with any of that. And I'll go hard. I'll do it rough.
Well, there's a certain level of wisdom, and you don't get to take anything with you, right? But at the same time, that doesn't mean you should it doesn't mean you should be so frivolous that you harm yourself and others. Right? Like, I think I have the opposite. I have the opposite belief, so to speak, from my raising, and it was don't spend anything.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like hold on to everything. And as I've aged, I've gotten a little bit less stringent with it, but like there was a time where if I drew money from an ATM, for instance, like I say I draw $200, that $200 would
$2
still be,
fee, $5 fee.
well, it would still be in my pocket for the next month. It wouldn't get touched because I would like go into a gas station, I would do whatever, and I wouldn't get anything because I'm like, I feel bad. I'd feel bad if I spent my own money on anything for me.
Was that money from a job that you worked?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been in me for so long that I feel wrong to buy anything for me personally. And I still struggle with it now. And it's a weird thing. The same was true for like credit. You have to get a loan to buy a home in most cases if you haven't saved all of that money up on your own, which maybe could have happened, but I doubt it in this day and age for myself and what I bought. But my whole life I was raised that that's bad. Don't take a loan, don't take credit, none of that. Don't do it. Stay away from it. Well, if I had understood how the system worked earlier in my life, I could have been way further ahead. But because I was raised that whole system is wrong and bad and evil and don't touch it, I stayed away from it completely.
But maybe we're gifted. Maybe we're gifted this because maybe some things are not for us. So, for like what your dad taught you, John, was for you, you know, and what came down. I always think about it as where we're born, the life that we have. To a certain extent, I think we're placed as souls with the parents that we have, and I think that there are lessons there. So maybe that we're guided to the place we need to be rather than the place we shouldn't be.
Even if the lessons are the opposite of what we should have done, they may teach us the lesson of what we should do and how to teach our children better than we were.
Yeah, precisely.
Hey, whoa, boys. I'm fucking awesome, and I'm always right, okay? Just leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree, John. I agree.
We'll just leave it at that. Right? Fuck. Gonna do this on a good style. Damn it.
See? This is why this is awesome.
I'm always right.
I've been. Yeah, I'm truly thankful for everything I've had and have.
Yeah, but you didn't get the Skeletal Castle or the Ewok Village. I'm sorry for you, brother.
Oh, fucking.
See, you don't have regrets. Do you have regrets about not getting the Skeletal Castle?
If I remembered correctly, I might have regrets.
See,
give me a break. If I remembered correctly, I might. But Dave, should I have regrets?
Of course, we should have regrets because if we didn't have regrets, then we'd never change anything.
Regrets teach us
all
lessons.
All right, there we go. All right, so regrets versus changing what we've done. Would you change what you did versus regrets?
Interesting. Say that again, John.
All right, so we regret things. We think that maybe we should have made a better choice. But is it a regret that we'd change? Considering that would make a big difference on the outcomes on our further life.
Well, some regrets are unchangeable, right?
Some things you can't take back.
If you don't do it, never did it.
Okay.
So regret. All right, I got you. I know. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Regret what you do, not what you regret what you don't do, opposed to what you do.
Well, that's an interesting take. All right.
I think that's infinitely dangerous to regret what we don't do, because there's an infinite amount of things that we haven't done. So therefore, should we regret the things we haven't done? I kind of tend to be on the side of I regret the bad things I've done. I don't really regret what I haven't done because I have no experience of it. It's just.
Well, you could, right? If there was moments that you saw an opportunity that you didn't take, that you kind of in the future go, shoot, I should have done that. I mean, I think that still counts as a regret. It's not the same level of regret as an action taken that you shouldn't have.
Well, like a good example of this would be, and this is how I rationalize it, is I used to produce music years ago, like good 20 years ago. I used to produce music, dance music, and there was a big, it wasn't like that. There was a big label, and that big label had some really big artists on it, and I wrote a tune. It got to one person. It got played on the radio in the UK in an obscure dance music show, but this big label wanted this track, and I was going to Italy to see my friend from university, and it was finish the track or go to Italy. And I just mugged the track off and just went to Italy and saw my mate. Mugged it off. But the thing is, I know, look, to my nature, if I'd have got into that world, if I'd have been in that world, maybe I wouldn't have had issues with drink when I was younger so much, or weed. Maybe it would have been something bigger like Coke in that environment. So I kind of feel blessed. I got an experience. I got to see a country which inspired me to then like move abroad. So, you know, opportunity. They say opportunity knocks once. Well, it kind of did, and you know, well, I went to Italy and got mugged on the metro. I say mug. I just mean just ripped off by a one-legged man. Yeah, who stole my change.
What? Hey, well, I always went to Baltimore and thought that I could like hang out with all the car guys, and then I later found out that I'd probably be dead now if I planned on. No. Sometimes you just better staying home, guys.
True.
Don't just stay home sometimes. Okay.
There's a time to go and a time to stay.
JB says, just stay home.
Just stay home.
I'm just saying, just sometimes, just stay home.
You're not
Holy
wrong.
shit.
You're not wrong. Sometimes it is best to stay home. Sometimes.
I'll tell you what, though, like at 12, in about 25 minutes, I've got a class. I've been going through all the 80s movies with one of my students. Because it's summer holidays, she's done all the advanced grammar work. She's in Hong Kong, and her English is pretty good now.
Wow.
But yeah, we did Back to the Future like 2 weeks ago. We did The Goonies last week.
That's awesome.
And at the moment, we're doing Labyrinth.
They're so good.
80s movies, dude.
All right. So this is interesting. So you're working with Chinese people, essentially teaching English.
Not anymore.
I have a good friend. Well,
Typically, don't work with Chinese people. Hong Kong's fine.
I've got it. Yeah, I understand. I've got a good friend that it was over here on his masters and has a visa and is an Australian citizen now. About 5 years ago, smartest guy I've ever known. Would get smashed, and I couldn't believe the story she'd tell me. It was horrible.
What about China?
Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hardcore. It could be pretty hardcore over there.
Like he would have been 5 years younger, or is 5 years younger, so he'd be late 80s.
Yeah.
And his parents didn't have a car until late 90s.
Yeah.
So this actually is something.
But that's big military money. Late 90s, first car ever.
Wow.
Like here in Australia, studying. Yeah.
That makes me think about things. Actually, I've been thinking about this thing lately. Actually, very recently. But we live in a world today, right, where technology has gotten really crazy, and we still have third world countries where things are way behind, like way behind. And
all right, so what's a third world country?
Somewhere where they don't have the development that we do, the income to the country, the production in the country, like some of the African nations that are living way below the standards of developed nations, like the US or the UK.
So I've got to do this. got to do this. Do they have food in their belly?
Oh, probably. Probably.
All right. Do
But that's
they have access to data, mobile phone?
probably. But I'm not saying it's worse. I'm not saying that lifestyle's worse. In fact, I would argue that the lifestyle of those countries is probably more healthy in a lot of ways for the minds and bodies of those people. Okay? My contention, the thing that I'm bringing up is that the
Interesting.
countries that are on the top, right, financially mostly, have the greatest technology, the greatest devices, the greatest access, and not just that, but they are pulling further and further away from the old ways, from the simpler ways, from the, I would say, mentally healthier ways. And it makes me wonder if that pull away is speeding up because the countries that are ahead with technology, with money, with all of it, will just continue to pull away because they're just continuing to advance until there's like almost like the thing from like early 90s or 1900s of like technocracy, right? Where they've pulled so far away that they don't even recognize the starting points or the old ways of the world. It's almost
I
like
think
creating completely different worlds all on the same
I hear
planet.
what you're saying. I think that the first guy that got a color television in his lounge room became popular.
Yeah. It's just a weird paradigm in my head that I've been thinking about lately. Like it's
So
With,
that
with
would
Japan.
mean
Sorry, go on.
you.
Joe.
No, I don't think there's any escaping what you're talking about. It is. It has been.
yeah,
It is.
yeah,
So if I had children, same way my parents did, if they've got a child that will take it up and absorb it, give everything you got, give them access,
yeah.
but give them good teaching. Give them good teaching, like a good foundation. Like
Agreed.
we, yeah.
Agreed.
But taking away that access, I'm not sure.
I'm not
That's
saying it's
tricky.
bad. I'm saying it's
That's
weird
tricky.
because the separation or the diversion of these, it seems
Oh, diversion. All right. Please explain. What's the diversion? Fuck, I'm sounding like duck.
sorry,
Fuck this.
I froze.
No, you're
So
fine. I'm pulling out
we're,
some lefty shit here. I'm sounding like duck.
we're
Fucking
already
go.
in we're already entering a phase where like brain chips and stuff are being created, like interfaces into a human brain with a computer chip. And there comes a
It's
point where
since the 80s. Since the 80s, that's been done for Parkinson's,
sure,
other medical
sure.
reasons.
I'm not saying it hasn't been done. I'm saying we're entering a different phase, right? Because now there's like all this AI creation, all this word generation, the large language models and the auto processing and all these things. And then you create brain chips. Who's getting those first? I can almost guarantee you it's going to be most of the first world countries. And that
Yes.
means an even bigger jump away from those in the lower, less privileged, less access places, and that I think
Yes.
that growth away from each other will continue to grow. And I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying it's a weird thing that's happening, almost like a
No, so
different.
that could be interesting in that you look at. I'm sure there's a word for it. Crosses. So stay away.
You guys still there?
Yeah. I'm still. It went dead for a second there.
That's what I was thinking too. I think my internet keeps clicking in and out. It's being weird. It does that sometimes though. So, happens when you live on a mountain and you have to use a satellite for internet.
Oh, you on a mountain, Abe?
I am
Beautiful, man. Wow. How high up are you?
4,400 feet is my elevation.
No way, really?
Yep.
Oh man, you must have some beautiful walks around where you live.
I do.
Oh man, that's beautiful, huh?
I can.
Any climbing around where you are?
There is some, but our rocks are not great for it. You have to find the right spots, but you can climb. You can climb in some of the national parks, or you can go find rock walls. They're all over the place.
Wow.
Just got to pick ones that aren't chipping or breaking easily. But yeah. I mean, I live in Montana, so it's like mountains.
My sister lives in Kansas. Not really a lot of mountains in the Midwest, I don't think.
No.
Kansas.
No. Maybe some rolling hills here and there.
Oh gosh, I'm looking at pictures of the state. It's beautiful.
Yes. So the east side of Montana is flat and plains-like, but the west side of Montana is just mountainous and forests and mountains everywhere. So
yeah, I can see. You can see on the map that it looks a lot flatter on the sort of the west side. So you've got like Indian reservations. You've got an Indian reservation sort of up in the northeast corner, haven't you?
Yeah, the Flathead or the Blackfeet and there might be other stuff too, but yeah, like Browning and over there is all Blackfoot Reservation
wow. Interesting. So you've got all the plains to the west.
To the east.
To the east, sorry, to the east.
Yeah.
I'd be really good in a helicopter.
So
let's have a look.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really spread out. Wow, wilderness, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty big too. Yeah, I mean, like we just not that long ago broke 1 million people for the state.
Wow, it's not a lot, huh?
No,
for that amount of.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's just endless roads, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge. Well, some of the stuff, like when I first got out of the military, to go to like the VA hospital, for instance, I'd have to drive 8 hours.
Crazy. Is it all farmland out in the East Plains mostly?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either crops or cows.
Like Route 244 is just endless. I'm just looking at it, and it's just forever fields.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just some dude turning up with a a bit of condensed air, like an air canister. Wow.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen,
How long have you lived that way? Were you brought up in the state, or did you move to the state?
No. So I lived all over the place growing up, like all over, especially the west side of the country, and then ended up coming to Montana in my mid-teens, and then went into the military, and then lived on the East Coast for a decent amount of time, not like a long time, but a few years. And then I stayed over there for a year or two after, and then came back to Montana. I literally ended up I was missing the mountains.
Yeah,
mostly.
I hear that, man. I love the mountains.
Yeah,
there's a peace and a chaos in the mountains. It's just, I think, the mountains are they're nurturing, but they can also be incredibly
brutal,
overwhelming.
Yeah,
just overwhelming in length. Like, I mean, the mountains we have in Scotland, I don't think they're anything as to what you get up, sort of roughly where you. What's the highest mountain around where you are?
Oh, I don't even know. Over, I think Logan is like over 12,000 or something like that. I don't know, 12,000 feet.
Granite Peak, wow, 3,904 meters, which is in feet. 12,800 feet. So our highest, I think, or the second highest, I think, is about 1,200 or 1,300 meters. So that's about triple. Triple what we have here. How long does it take to get to hike, say from bottom to top to one of your mountains locally, roughly?
Oh,
Would you
I
say
don't even
a
know.
long time?
Yeah, a decent. So I don't really think of like hiking to the top of mountains generally, but like there's hikes through different places, like in Glacier, for instance. You could do like a 3-day hike to get across some of the mountains to the other side, you know. So, but I don't
Oh
usually
wow!
just go to the top of one. But yeah, it would take you.
Look at
It would.
that.
It would take you.
Glacier County. Is that what it's called? Glacier County.
Well, Glacier Park, Glacier
Glacier
National
National
Park.
Park.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Wow.
yeah,
Incredible
it's a
landscape.
beautiful place.
Look at the lake there. There's like
Yeah,
most
Lake
of the pictures
McDonald.
have beautiful, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And that massive sort of flat sort of peak coming right up from the mountain there. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's a cool area.
Wow, you can't get your kids must love it there, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's part of it too, is like I love that I don't have crazy huge cities everywhere.
Hmm.
Like I've been in plenty. I grew up in plenty. But nature is amazing.
I can give or take cities. I've been out of the city for years and years. I just can't be doing them. I can't handle all of the society, not as in society in general, people,
No.
but it's just the constant. Everyone's going where they want to go, and
I
I
don't-
love when we're in the nature. We
Right.
can go. You can talk to people and stop and commune.
I don't think big cities are good for human flourishing.
Mm-mm. People become conceited, selfish. I think they become insensitive to other human beings. We end up annoying each other rather than like sort of making each other smart. I love being out on a mountain and stopping and talking to someone for 5
I
or 10
agree.
minutes.
I
And
agree.
you just don't get that in a city. You don't just stop and have a conversation. It's like a vacuum.
Everyone's too busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
Well, where we're moving from our village is probably about 1,500 people in it. And we're moving to a little, I'll see if I can find the population. See if I can find it. Wow. So it's part of a larger area that had about 1,700 people. So there's probably a few hundred people, maybe not even that, living in, and we're living on a croft, which is like it's like an old farm,
Oh, that's cool.
like a Scottish farm, and it's but yeah, we've got like a little donkey as a neighbor. We're moving in September. We're in like a bungalow, like a one in like a towny kind of place. But yeah, where we're moving, we're getting like a farm cottage. It's an old croft cottage. It's got like 3 outbuildings.
That
So
sounds
it's gonna be like
beautiful.
yeah, man. I'm really looking forward to getting a bit more isolation. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be beautiful. Right, dude. I better dash because I got another class in about 9 minutes.
Okay.
I think Bert's found his phone charger.
Yeah. I don't know. I might should just go to bed.
Get some rest. Get some shut eye. But thanks for having us, Abe. And it's good. Always good talks, man. Always good talks. It's good chewing the fat, as they say.
Yes. I
Yeah.
think it's good for the mind.
It's been a good morning. It was a good replacement for my class that would never turned up. So yeah, it was very, very beneficial. And because it's always beautiful when John Bert's around, it's because I always feel like I've learned something because he's never wrong and he's awesome. So God bless him.
Teaches us so much.
God bless you, Abe. You take care. Have a good day, brother.
You as well.
See you on the other side, man. Take care.
Sounds good. So, yeah. I know people are just filing in, but I'm tired. And I didn't intend to go very long tonight. So, I don't know who's live, but you guys can go wherever you like. I don't mind. But I am going to go probably eat a bowl of cereal and crash, because that's what I do. Yeah. So I'm going to play some music for you guys, and then I'm going to end the stream. All I can say is, God bless you all, and try to have a good day. I'll see you later.
K2's a mountain made of scream. Burger cream dripping through my dreams. Climbing high, no ropes, no teeth. K2 has burger cream. What does it mean? What does it mean? K2 is burger cream. Hard rock and a broken string. Fingers bleeding, but I still sing. Screaming loud at the icy king. K2 has burger cream. What does it mean? What does it mean? K2 is burger cream. Snow falls like ashes from the past. Frozen burgers in a world so vast. Dreams melt fades, melt K2 has burger cream. What does it mean? What does it mean? K2 has burger cream. Yay!
Old aching Cassels with a snarl and a scoff. While dickheads and blowhards will try to show off. He's got no time for their bollocks and spin. Just a battered old rudder and thick weathered skin. He's sailing a straight ship in a sea full of bricks. While the loudmouth whackers all circle like ticks. They flap and they blabber, they shout and they scream. But ain't keeps it steady, clean fucking beam to beam. They're lost in their echo chambers of shite. Drunk on their club, barking wrong like it's right. They're stuck in their dinghies with anchors of lies. While Abe rides a storm with no fucks left to buy. Yeah, he's sailing a straight ship in a sea full of knobs. While the Twitter brain captains all suck at their jobs. They meme and they moan, they rant and they rot. But Abe's got a heading and they fucking do not. They said you'll go nowhere, that course is too square. But Abe flipped the finger and cut through the air. With truth in his sails and a map in his brain. He pissed on their compass and danced through the rain. Now he don't need applause, no bullshit to claim. He's not here to play in a small-minded game. With a flask full of fire and a soul full of fight, he'll sail past their noise like a thief in the night. So here's to Abe thinkers who won't take their shit, who don't need their lights or their fake TikTok wits. He's sailing a straight ship while the rest drift and fail. Abe don't need luck, just a good wind and sail. So cheers to the captain who's sharp as a blade. In a world full of knobheads, he just cuts away. Let the pissheads keep shouting till their voices go dead. It's halfway to freedom and miles ahead. knees to the dirt, I bow my head low. The ground shakes with every echo. This world's a storm, a shadowed game. I call your name, I call your name. Oh, give me fire, not for wrath, but light. Make me stand in the darkest night. Thy will be done, thy will be done. On earth below, beneath the sun. The battle calls, the die is cast. Give me strength to make it last. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. My hands are scarred, my armor cracked. Every step forward feels pulled back. But in your word I find my steel. Your truth is sharp, your truth is real. Oh,